Hello, my name is Jane and this is the Yoon Balloon. I thought I would do a 21 things I learned by 22. These are in no significant order. I just kind of am saying them as I wrote them down. And we'll start off with something simple. I absolutely love ice cream, broccoli, coffee, and almond croissants. I strive to look for the best of these food items in any city I go to just because they always intrigue me. Never hold yourself back to show someone that you care or love them. You're never gonna regret showing someone that you cared for them if that's how you really felt in that moment. If anything, it's the things that you don't get to do and the things that you don't get to say that will kind of bug you later on, and no one wants to live with regrets. So learn to be vulnerable with sharing your values and your beliefs with the understanding that some people may walk away. There doesn't need to be a reason for absolutely everything you do. Sometimes it's okay to just feel. Sometimes it's okay to just take a leap of faith and do something. That's part of life, and that's part of spontaneity and opening up to even bigger and greater things. Rather than just their actions and behaviors, I find that when you judge someone by their questions, you can really see what they're trying to dig deeper into. I've found it helpful and also very interesting to see what parts of what I'm saying really stick out to people. I definitely think it's more important to find a profession rather than a job. When you're able to find your core competencies, you have the ability to be irreplaceable. And that's what you guys are. Like, we're so special and we have so much to offer in a unique way, each individual, and you want to make sure that you really capitalize on what makes you special and make yourself irreplaceable. Irreplaceable. To the left, to the left. Self-discipline is something we all struggle with, whether that's in your work ethic, whether that's in your consumption pattern, whether that's in the way that you handle relationships and friendships. It's something we all struggle with, but acknowledge it is one step closer to working towards where we want to be. I realized that in my life, I actually need to live with somebody, I think. So currently I'm living alone and it has been a struggle bus. Just the nature of who I am as a person. I'm definitely someone that is my best self when I'm out and about, and I think the presence of another human being definitely initiates that kind of drive for me. We need each other. We accept the love we think we deserve. How you let others treat you reflects what you think of yourself and your self-worth. Put that into some thought. Make sure you're getting the treatment and love that you deserve, because everyone does. One thing that I would really like to stress is celebrate your small victories. I'm a huge advocate of that because that's what keeps us going and that's what keeps us excited. Something small is definitely better than nothing at all, whether that's in sustainability, whether it's working out, even working on relationships and friendships. I mean, sometimes I celebrate my small victories a little too much. Like, I'll be celebrating every weekend because there's just so much in life to be happy about. That's how I feel. Do the things that scare you the most. Do the things that you often make an excuse for, because at the end of the day, that's what's gonna make you feel the most satisfaction and the most triumph and the most victorious. And when you get it out of the way, you feel like you can do anything. Good weather is everything to me. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm sure scientifically there's some evidence behind why it lifts our mood. As long as the weather's good, my day is pretty much 75% gonna be good. Just its awesome magical powers. I don't know if I stole this from Marie Kondo. Okay, I definitely didn't, but we were clearly thinking on the same line, because my next point is about finding things that spark joy in your life. When you know what you like and you know what makes you happy, it's a lot easier to create those moments and experiences, and it's a lot easier for other people to also find ways to make you happy. I know personally for me, anything with lights and nature and animals really tugs me right here. My sleep schedule is quite wonky. I am not a huge napper. I don't really think I operate like that. On average, I sleep around 5 to 6 hours, and that's worked for me since coming to college and whatnot. Can you focus? There we go. Oh my god, I love it. It's like a lavender color. We're approaching the Easter season, so bam! Humans make meaning out of everything. Whether it's that it's important to have hobbies, or it's important to love your friends and family, or you know, it's important to value independence. And during this time that we're in school, the school structure gives us a good outline or guide on what we should be valuing and what things to look for. But post-grad, it's really up in the air for what you want to make meaning out of. And I think that my lesson out of that is that we constantly have to be making meaning for ourselves in ways that give us more purpose and in ways that give us more intention to carry out with our lives. So even like this video, I'm not sure why I'm making it. I just feel like it has meaning to me, and I'm hoping that it will help me or help others down the line. We need to be generous to flawed humanity. When you're able to be a little bit more understanding and generous with yourself and the people around you, you will have an easier time enjoying and finding happiness in your life. Only when you're so hard on yourself, you limit and you give such rigid structures to what you're allowed to be happy about and find joy in and whatnot. Soften up a little bit to this world and understand that things may not happen the way you expect. Things are unpredictable. Sometimes things are irrational. But if you're able to come from a stance of understanding, you will have an easier time enjoying life and embracing whatever comes your way. You should own at least one white shirt, one black shirt, and one white sneaker. They are quintessential to making any outfit A1. I'm crazy. It's okay to indulge from time to time. I made this quote. If not, let me know. Don't want to be miscrediting people, but a life of indulgence is not a life, it's a lifestyle. And this applies in the same way that a life of working is not a life, it's a lifestyle. It's amazing how our society functions when there's so many different processes going on behind the scenes that I probably don't even know about. When you think of just one transaction, let's say spring break is approaching and I'm gonna be going on a flight or going on a bus. For me to get on that bus, so much happens behind the scenes. There are people who need to wake up hella early to drive these buses, and then there are people who need to print out the bus seat list, and then there are drivers that need to switch out maybe mid-ride, and then there are people who are waiting at the other bus station to make sure this bus comes in. Like, there's so many people involved in helping just even one transaction function. And I acknowledge and appreciate that so much, because it's because of those things that happen behind the scenes that allow us to lead the lifestyle that we do and helps society function truly. It's these things that when I notice them, you realize how essential each small part of the equation is to make this thing called society work. And that just blows my mind because it's amazing, and it really drives that motivation in myself, because I need to make their efforts count by making my own efforts intentional and purposeful in that. Quote, the more you know. Nothing else needs to be said. The more you know, you're able to be more intentional with your relationships. You're able to be smart about maybe food hacks or life hacks. The more you know, you're able to avoid conflict or do things in a more efficient way. The more information, the more exposure, the more things you see, the more things you listen to, the more things you try and eat, it'll just benefit your life down the road. And I think that's kind of what I'm gonna leave it on. And I really encourage everyone to take some time to reflect and think about themselves and understand what type of person you are and what type of person you strive to be, because it'll only help you out in the end. Hopefully this type of video was helpful to some of you guys, and if not, I'd be curious to see what other things you guys found useful or learned at your age 22 or beyond. But definitely stay tuned for future videos, and I will catch you in the next one.